everyone, and welcome to Cheeky Nail Innovations channel. This is Sandra here. I'm so happy that you're coming to my channel to view the classes, and I'm hoping that you're enjoying them. If you are, please give me a thumbs up and then make sure that you're sharing this channel, please. That way it can grow and I can continue to give you more and more classes. Today's class is going to be this ombre look on a vertical ombre with some fine line work. What I'm going to be using for this is Matte On by Accents. I've got Finesse in the Luxio Gel Polish range by Accents, together with Elite and Cheerful, two colors. I've got my tip, which I've already started to prepare. I've done a thin coat of the Finesse color, which gives me like a white background. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a coat of the matte on. I need a matte surface with a little bit of texture to be able to get the color to do what I want it to do and do the ombre. Putting that into the light for 30 seconds. I'm going to prepare for the ombre color. So I've got here one of my forms, which I've put onto the back of the paper. I've got two colors, and I really like combining this yellow and pink, because when you do the ombre, it gives you similar to a little bit of orange in between. So it's a nice combination. The Matte On has got a tacky layer, so I'll wipe it off clean. So I have got that texture of tackiness. As you can see, I've put a little bit, 2 dabs of the 2 colors on my palette. I've got my round brush, which is the Accents number 4 brush. I use this one for, doing colors and things like that. And I've also got my very own liner brush in the Moody liner. So now that I've got my tip ready here with the white background, and it's been made matte, I'm going to apply one coat, a very thin coat. And what I'm doing here is, see if I can zoom back out. There we go. What I'm doing is really getting a lot of the color off the brush, because I need to work thin with thin coats. If I go ahead and see how much I'm actually spreading the bristles of the brush, because I want a thin coat. I don't want to make it perfect yet. If I start to do that, I'm going to have the color move everywhere and be lumpy. This is a beautiful yellow, and it's going to go on this side without touching the pink. If I do touch the pink, I have got a lint-free wipe here, wet with some cleanser, where I'm going to go ahead now with the same brush and go over the pink. I've got pink on my brush, so I will wipe it before I put it back in the bottle. I'm going to do the same with the pink brush as well. So pressing it down and going over to the yellow to start blending. I am actually doing a very light feather touch. If I start to push too hard, I'll remove color off. And that's what I want now. See how it's starting to blend nicely? Before I put the brush into the bottle, I will clean the yellow off on the lint-free wipe. And I'm going to cure this for 30 seconds. Okay. As it's come out of the light, I'm going to go back in with the same brush off the cut of the gel polish brush, bottle brush, and refine my edge over here. So I've got intensity there. And go over to the yellow. I'm not worried this time, the yellow is cured, so it's fine. It's not a wet color. It's not going to have anything on my brush there. And just intensifying the edge, making sure that there is enough color there to give depth. With the yellow, I'll do the same. So I'm basically draining it quite a lot and going into the yellow and intensifying the edge before I go over to the pink. Just feather touching whilst it's a wet color and coming back. Trying to blend it so I don't have lines, vertical lines, like that. Getting the pink off my brush onto the lint-free wipe before I go back in, and I'll come back with the pink just to blend a bit more, like that, and cleaning the brush. Now that, before I go ahead and put this into the light, I'm going to pick up my round brush, number 4 brush, and I'm going to dab it on one corner with into the pink and on the opposite corner into the yellow, just like that. So I've picked up the 2 colors and they match to how they are positioned on my tip. I'm then going to go and just do gentle feather touch down the nail, going side to side. There's a fluff in there, annoying fluffy bits. Clean my brush, yellow, pink, and blend. That's better. This is really defining the ombre look that you're after. Cleaning the brush again, picking up the yellow, going onto the tip. See how I did not pick up any pink that time? Because I want to define the yellow side. Don't cure yet. Got to make it nice. It's getting there. Cleaning my brush, picking up the pink and going onto the pink side. I'm doing long feather touches. If I need to work on this little corner here, I'm going to turn my brush upside down so the pink is on the same side, and just working this side here, side to side, side to side. Side to side. Okay, into the light for 30 seconds. There's the ombre look there. Some matte. This isn't the end yet. I usually have a look and see how it comes out with the matte, with this top coat, and then because it's got a texture, if I feel that I need to add more for a more precise gradient, I'll go ahead and fix it up. But we'll put this into the light again. So it's just come out of the light here. I'm going to wipe the inhibition layer from the matte top coat. That's what it's looking like at the moment, which I'm kind of happy with. I'm going to go ahead and just try and refine this area a bit more by adding a little bit more yellow. Much better. It's not, you can't see the brush strokes as much as what you could before. And I'll do the same again on the pink side. And this is the reason why you need to work thin, just in case you need to do another coat. Picking up a bit of yellow again and just refining. That looks a lot better, much nicer. And see the gradient there from yellow, looks like a little bit of orange in there, and going to the pink. Here we go, into the light for 30 seconds. I'm going to do one final coat of matte on top coat. There we go, in the light for 30 seconds. So out of the light it comes, wiping off the inhibition layer. So I've got a matte background before I now do my fine lines and swirls for a filigree look. For that, I'm going to be using Gel Play paint in the Line It range by Accents. It is the black colour. Just going to pick up a little bit out of the pot so I can work with it. You don't need much, and it's best to work on your palette. Okay, I'm going to first of all do a frame around the tip, just by doing a nice line all the way around the edge of the tip. Pressing down on the brush so I've got like a thickish line. And it's consistent. Rotating the tip. Between my fingers as I go around. Nice and steady. Picking up more product, going back a little bit to where I left before, so I don't start where I left off, I go back a little bit. That way it can give me a good coverage. Being sure to not touch the edge with my fingers, that way I don't smudge my line, my outline. I'm going to cure it in the light for 30 seconds. There's the outline. Nice and steady. Out of the light, and now I'm going to create a design in this about here. So my composition would be that around the center of the tip but to one side is going to look best, so around here. So that's where my actual beads are going to, and the pearls and the beads are going to sort of congregate, similar to this tip here. It's going to be around that area. I'm going to connect it all to the frame that I've done around the edge. So I'm going to go around here and holding my brush on a 90-degree angle, I'm going to do a wavy line going back up. I don't want a thick line, and the way to control that is how you hold your brush. So that's a nice wave. The product that I'm using, the Line It range, is really good because it's got viscosity in it. It's not going to bleed everywhere. Like a gel polish, I would have to cure after every stroke that I do. In this one, I don't, because it's got viscosity. It's a little bit thicker. Therefore, I can work a little bit more before I cure, giving me more time to save time, basically. If I'm curing after every stroke, it would mean a lot of time required to finish the design. I'm just fixing the line there, so I'm happier with it. And as I said, I'm going to put the pearl about there. So I'm going to do a couple of little swirls, picking up some product to join into this wave, just like that. A little bit more. I have a rogue hair in my brush that's annoying me, but that's okay. We'll work around it. Going to do a little bit of a swirl like this. Just refining the tip. Going to do a little bit more, a tiny one here to join it all together there. I like that. That's where my pearl is going to go. So now I'm going to go the opposite side on this side and come up this other way. So it'll be, this is the center focal point. I'm going to go right here and do a swirl. Sorry, I stop breathing when I'm doing this. I'm going to do a bit of a tighter curl on this swirl, and it doesn't need to join. I am pressing down on my brush to get a little bit of thickness, and then I lift it and control it to get the look that I want. I'm going to go over here and do a dot. I'm going to swirl it to one side over here and bring it to there. Above that dot, directly above it, I'm going to do another dot, and I'm going to swirl it past the other dot, around I go and join it, turning it upside down, and I'm going to then stretch this dot out and join it to the outside border. And I've gone thicker there in purpose, like that. Do a little bit more, like here, another leaf-like swirl. Just pressing the brush into the product, that way I can load the brush nicely. In here, do a dot. And then at that dot, I'm going to press down and flick out. Needs another one here just to join it together and flick it out like that. If you don't like anything that you see or you're not happy with a part of it, I've got my clean brush here. It's got no product on it, it's been cleaned, and I'm just going to refine and remove whatever I don't like. Clean it off. And refine it. Line work is delicate work. So if you take your time with it and make them as beautiful and elegant as you can, you won't be disappointed. I'll just clean my brush a bit more. So I can clean off this stain here. So I just cleaned my brush on some cleanser. There we go. Nice and clean brush and refining. That was to show you how to cleanse when you know, because you don't want to wipe everything off. It hasn't been cured, so you don't run the risk of having to start over again. However, if I had have cured in between, everything would be, you know, firm, and I wouldn't have any problems wiping it clean. There we go. The other thing that looks really pretty when you're doing lines and swirls is dots. You can just do it with your brush, basically, like that. I'm going to put one in here, one swirl. I'm going to press down. I'm going to turn it upside down, press down, and bring it out like that. Okay. I think I feel like I want another line here, thickish to thin, like that. That looks pretty. I'm going to cue this for 30 seconds. So when I was editing the previous tip, which was this one here, unfortunately it hadn't recorded the process of adding the little pearls and beads and things like that. So I've gone ahead and created another tip so I can show you that process, and then I've also done it in a gloss. It's just to make it a little bit different. So what I'm using for that is basically Trinity Clear. This is in the Accents range, it's our Performance range, which is a hard gel. And I'm basically just dipping my fine line brush into the gel. I'm just going to get it out of the way. I'm going to, in this area here is where I'm going to place my pearls and beads. So the big one, the main one, will be sitting in the center here. And I want a nice little bead of gel in there. Next to it, and either side of it, I'll add the two smaller pearls. And of course it's going to need a smaller amount of gel for it to attach without bleeding all over the edge of the pearl and making it messy. The idea is that you use 1/3 the size of the bead of gel for it to attach. Now I've got these little caviar beads or bullion beads. They're really, really tiny. So what I'm doing is I'm dipping the tip of my brush into the clear gel and I'm picking up the beads with that gel that's on the brush. I've got like 3 on the tip of my brush there, and I'm going to place them around the pearls just to make things tidy and finish things off. It doesn't matter that the bullion beads are smothered, would say smothered in the gel. It makes them stick longer. Just like that. And I like to do them little clusters of 3. 3 little seed beads around where the pearls join, basically. I don't dip every time into the gel. Now I am using the Trinity Clear. It is a hard gel. However, you can also use the gem gel. See how pretty it looks? And it doesn't, well, it's not complicated. Just adding a couple of single ones here and there. There we go. And I'm going to cure that for 30 seconds. So there it is there, with the little pearls and bullion beads all attached. Just going to lay them nicely down so you can see the difference next to the others. There you go. So those two are matte. This one is in a gloss. I hope you've enjoyed. Don't forget to like, give me a thumbs up, and share or subscribe. Thank you.